Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no see. It's been a while. Well, I guess it hasn't been a while, but it's been a while since I've done these kind of events. When I first started, when I first moved down to Virginia, I that's how I made my connections. Started going to cannabis vendor events and stuff. But isn't just a pop up. No, this is more specific. This is about the education, the knowledge for people who want to get into the cannabis field. Maybe if they want to start their own business, maybe learn about the laws that are incorporated within the state of Virginia, and a lot more. Just getting to meet like-minded entrepreneurs who are already in the field. Maybe if you want to get into genetics, maybe get deeper into that. It's a plethora of knowledge that's going to be here today. I'm excited to get to talk to these individuals, and hopefully you guys get to learn something today. But yeah, when I first moved to Virginia, that's why I started, just getting connections there, and from then on just started going to different events. Shout out to Grow Depot too. That was another a grow shop too as well, that they invited me to do their year anniversary, so shout out to them. But it's actually cool to actually have video of it, because I did so many of them. There's some videos that are probably deep in there in the vaults, but there's some photos here and there, but now they actually have video of the experience. It's pretty cool. You guys get to see it. It's a lot more upgraded than when I first did it, though. I actually got like a little mobile bag here. Cool. And inside, the Roadcaster. Well, it's a mini Roadcaster. But guys, we're about to get in here. Oh yeah, before I even continue, shout out to Cannabis Community VA for setting this up. Great opportunity for people of all minds, new to expert in cannabis, to come together and trade ideas, trade just conversation in general. And shout out to Grow VA as well for having the event hosted at their facility. It's at 1630 General Booth Boulevard, building number 130. But you'll see it. It's you can't miss it. It's next to a lineup, top line cuts. So if you want to get a nice lineup and then hit some judo and get your grow, sounds like a good mix right there. And there's some great food around here too. But I'll see you guys soon in there. Oh wait, I should probably do like a Oh fuck it. There we go. All right, y'all, we're here at the cannabis market community. I'm still learning this. I'm learning this new camera, as you can tell. But here is the facility so far. And great vibes all around. We got a live band here. Look at this. Yeah, man, I love it. Look at that. How you doing, man? Long time no see, man. How's everything? Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just keeping busy doing podcasting at home now, dude. Any new adventures up, or just been on the grind? Oh, what you got? All right, well, let's see what you got, man. Introduce yourself to the podcast real quick. Let me get
I just got this dope ass fucking heady glass from called Turf Glass.
Turf Glass, okay.
Piece made by these awesome dudes right over here.
Oh, okay. Turf Glass.
They're making a bowl right now. They're doing awesome.
Oh, damn, they got a live blowing up. Oh, damn, guys, we're about to go get blown. All right, not the bad. Yeah, dude, I'll catch you around. I'm gonna go around this table. Okay, man, I'll see you soon. We'll talk about it. Hey, how you doing, boss? Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. I got like so many things going on right now. But my name's Eli.
Nice to meet you, bro. Mike.
No, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, but I host the Spawncast podcast, man.
Damn right. Yes, sir.
And what's your name, sir? Anderson. All right. Dynamic Glass Duo. What's up?
Sir.
What's the sir? All right. So if you guys want to pass the mic one at a time and like get like a little sum up of like who you are and what you do, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. So I'm Michael at Sunset Glass on Instagram. Local glass artist from Virginia Beach, Virginia. We do a lot of hand pipes and slides, fully worked handmade joints right here. Lots of pendants, one pinners, full pieces. prop jars for the plants, all that, man.
I'm gonna go around and show them every detail of it. But
Yes,
look
sir.
at this live glass blowing. Like, come on, you can't beat this.
It's finished up.
Oh, damn, the fumigation is insane.
Slide, yes, sir.
Oh, and the triple is that? It's a quadruple
That's a
hole.
quad hole
Oh,
screen.
damn, yo, let's go, dude. That's
Yes,
beautiful
sir.
work, though, man. How long you been doing this for?
About a year.
A year? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I like that. And so, wait, you guys just started just doing this? How long for you as well?
Yeah, just under a year.
Just-
for me as
oh,
well.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
oh, so you
We're
both-
both self-taught artists. There's really not much of a place to learn. We got a couple buddies around here that are teaching us a few things, but I mean, you know, just kind of learning by breaking glass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like how many glasses have you broken, right?
Yeah, man. It's like for every one of these we break another one. You know, so like.
No, it's a beautiful art too, man. You know, it's
Yes, sir.
like it's so crazy how you can. There's always something new in it. I always see some new glass artist doing some phenomenal like thing. I'm like, wait, how'd you do this? And it just looks so like ungodly. Like, how do you even do
really
this? Like,
intricate, that's for sure.
yeah, it's beautiful, man. You gotta appreciate the glass, like the glass in general, man. Like what you can do with it. Is there any way that people can support you though and follow you?
Just give us a follow on Instagram at Tongues Out Glass for my boy right here, sir.
Yeah.
At Sensor Glass.
Let's go signature.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But give us a follow and you know, come buy some glass from us. You know?
Hell yeah, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the showcase real quick. Let's see what they got. Look at this beautiful glass. Come on, locally made. You gotta support. Look at the fumigation on that bad boy. Oh, and this nice. Look at this Sherlock. Is that a Sherlock or would that not be a Sherlock?
That's called a hammer. So a Sherlock's
hammer.
gonna be something like this. This is a Sherlock with the bend neck right here.
There's the Sherlocks, y'all. But look
Yep.
at that hammer. It's hammer time. That's
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
hammer time.
Yeah, can I use that to hammer a nail in by any
You
chance?
could hammer a nail for a little bit with that one. It might take on you after a bit.
All
You
right.
could probably hit a hammer a few times with it.
At least I know at those desperate moments where I somehow don't have a hammer.
Yep.
Hammer time.
You can break out your hammer pipe.
Yeah. Oh, let me look at that pen down your neck real quick.
Yes, sir. It's made by my boy right here, Tongues Out Glass.
Zoom in. Come on. No. Oh, come on. Focus, baby. Come on. There we go. Ooh, it almost looks like a penguin head on that. And maybe that's just me. Like in the center, it looks like
Yup.
a penguin face, but I could be bugging.
Yes, sir.
But guys, thank you so much. I'll come back around again and talk more, man. Wish you guys the best. Hi, ladies. How y'all doing today? Good. My name's Elijah. Christy.
Yes.
Amanda, pleasure to meet you guys. Do you actually mind if I go around? Actually, let me showcase this real quick. So what's your, actually, actually, I'm gonna just get over there. I'm just gonna get over there. How about that? All right, so I run a podcast called Spawncast Podcast.
Okay.
And so what I do is just promote local businesses and the whole nine. So if you guys want to introduce yourself to the audience and tell a little about yourself and the business, you guys can pass it one-on-one too, you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Christy. I'm the owner of Nature's Goodness.
Oh.
Amanda, the helper.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right. That's amazing. Yes. So she helps me out. We're here tonight at Grow VA. We're showing off my CBD and herbal infused products.
Oh, I'm gonna get you guys a better photo right now. I'm just in the backstage, so you know this is exclusive. And how long you been doing this for, by any
We've
chance?
been in business for a little over a year.
Okay, how's the experience? How are you liking it?
Great. Love it.
What's great about it, by any chance?
I love helping the community. I love being involved in the cannabis community.
What made you want to do it?
I'm a breast cancer survivor, so I wanted to make natural products to put on and in my body.
Wow. And so is it something like during your time having breast cancer, like you've tried it yourself and seen this in it? Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome to know that you're giving, you know what I mean, doing your part to give back. So
Yes.
no, so it's awesome. I was gonna say, thank you so much, though, guys. Thank you so. I'll come back around, so, but I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show my audience this amazing work. Whoa. Guys, look at this real quick. Look at this. Oh, even handmade jewelry. Let's go. Oh, that looks nice, actually. Wow. The skeleton's ready for Halloween.
That's right.
What's this, like an incense? Is this like a spray that?
So these are body spritzers,
Yeah.
and then I have tinctures and roll-ons and different essential oil blends for different ailments.
Okay.
Body sprays, beard oils, homemade bug sprays, hair oils.
Oh wow, bug spray. Wow, the bug spray with CBD. Why CBD?
It's not a CBD bug spray.
Oh,
It is,
okay.
yes.
I was gonna say. I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
hold up.
it's amazing. It works really good. This is one of my best sellers right now.
Damn, I was gonna say, especially now, everyone's
Yeah.
trying to get away from
Right.
the major brand bullshit, you know. So that's all. That's all.
Yes.
See, that's different. I like that. Oh, and you got. Okay, I gotta come back around after him, so I can actually really look at that. That's badass. Well, thank you so much, ladies. All right. Have a good one. Oh, yeah, I do. I know, right? I wish I had. I need to hire a helper. I need to hire a helper. Hey, one step at a time. I'll get there.
All right.
Oh, there it is. Guys, we have a little technical difficulties here. Yeah, no, you're good. That's fine. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Have a good one, all right? How you doing, miss? Hi, John. Oh, wait. Have we met before? Are you sure? You look very familiar. Have you been to Grow Depot? Grow Depot? Oh, okay, never mind. You look familiar. Well, pleasure to meet you. My name's Elijah.
Hi, Annika.
Annika, pleasure. And I run this podcast. Do you mind if I interview you a little bit and have you showcase your product and stuff?
Sure.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, hold the mic and introduce the audience who you are and what you do.
I'm Annika with Landis Bakery.
Oh, make sure the mic is like close to. Yeah, it's like a direct mic. Sorry.
Okay. I'm Annika with Landis Bakery.
Okay, guys, look at this. Oh, the birthday menu. Hold up. Oh, damn.
I've been in business for 3 years now.
3 years? All right. So what made you want to start it?
I've always loved baking since I was a child.
Oh, okay.
I love watching Cake Boss.
Oh, yo, that's my favorite fucking show. No, that's funny. My older sister was into it, and that's all I watched with her. I'm like, oh, fuck that. And then you start loving it. You're like,
I love Cake Boss, and that's really what inspired me to do custom cakes.
damn, that's awesome. So, are you like the first one to really in your family to go for like make your own business like this, or is it like?
I'm not the first entrepreneur in my family, but the first bakery.
Damn, okay, that's awesome. So how they like? Have you seen yourself doing this for a long time, even beforehand? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be the old grandma that makes with her grandkids.
Yeah. Oh, those are the best moments, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how can people find you out and support you, though? Do you have a website or Instagram?
No website, but I do have an Instagram
Okay.
at Landis Bakery.
Okay, awesome. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience? Or all right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Hope you have a great. I'll come back around. Definitely going to copy you.
Okay.
Look at these guys. Cake pops. Oh, damn, that's looking. Woo, look at that sprinkle. Look at that. And let's move on to the jars. That's really where all the work's at. Look at the layers. You never seen so much layers. Even an onion can't compete. Look at that. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, damn, I have to come back. I gotta go. Sorry, miss. I didn't mean to block you. Oh. Hi, ladies. Oh, Wanda. Oh, it's you. Do you want to hold this thing for me real quick? Damn, perfect.
Yeah.
Because I've been having trouble trying to, like, multitask. And it's like, how you doing today? My name's Elijah. Oh, thank you. Take a break now. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Shout out to Lana for holding the camera, the host of Community Cannabis VA. Follow them on Instagram, Community Cannabis VA on Instagram. And also make sure you follow Grow VA at grow.va757. Yeah, let's go.
Are you just going? Are you just
Yeah, I'm going to I was going to say if you're busy, yeah, you can.
No. This is so much fun. This is so much fun. I have to return his book. I have to return. Oh! I have to return the book. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I just wanted to return your book, but I'm totally going to buy one later.
Return the cookie?
This is mine.
Wow, long time no see, Nick. It's been a while, man. I didn't expect you to have a table though. Like, yeah, but how you been though in general? I was gonna say, so this is the first time you coming on the podcast and stuff like that. I want you to introduce the audience who you are, what you do, and the whole nine.
Yeah, no problem. So, Nick Rocha, owner of the Queens Green Apothecary. We got a CB shop down on Virginia Beach Boulevard across from Beach Ford. And I had the first Canna Bar here in Virginia Beach when that was going. We were in that space for about a year. The landlord decided, we don't want to do that anymore. So they want to having us move on. It's kind of a bad situation, but we proved that, hey, having a place where people can come and enjoy cannabis in a safe environment was absolutely the right thing, people are tribal by nature. They want to be in community with other people, and the cannabis community is no different. So it's a great place to be able to bring people in and allow them to come in and have fun and all that. But today I'm featuring the Freedom Hemp's Gummy. So as a military veteran, one of the things that I like to look for is stuff that's like gonna, get me where I need to be as far as like the safety of my PTSD and my anxiety and depression, stuff like that. So. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So what we've created is Freedom Hemp's Gummies. So as you know, as of July 1st, the THC to CBD ratio has been increased from a 10-part CBD to 1 part THC to now, as of July 1st of this year, 2023, a 25-part CBD to 1 part THC. So we can no longer sell gummies across the state unless they meet that criteria, which is completely asinine. And we thought, quite honestly, that it was going to wind up watering it down and making it like useless. And I think that was kind of the legislative's intent. However, what we found was in this process, we went and tested it, and it actually gives a bigger high for a longer amount of time. So it's like, hey, it's state law. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So we're good to go now. So I was leaning forward about 3 or 4 months out before the law changed and just decided, let's go ahead and create these things, get them out there. And currently we're like the only ones in the state who have the legal gummies according to the 25-to-1 ratio. And we're encouraging other stores to pick them up. Part of the profits go to support veterans who are dealing with PTSD, so it's a really good cause. And it's my own company. So it's apart from owning the Queen's Green, I got the Freedom Hemp thing going on. So it's kind of a cool thing. And then the other thing we have is Lifted. It's a non-alcoholic drink that is THC infused. So I get a lot of veterans and folks who are like, hey man, I'm tired of opioids. I'm tired of drinking too much. I need something to help me to come off of those highs and get something that's going to be more natural. So cannabis does that like nobody else's business. And we all know this intuitively, but until you actually put it into a gummy or a drink, man, you just don't even realize how good it can be inside of a drink or a gummy. So a lot of folks are buying this thing up. It's about 17 to 21 shots worth of, yeah. So we recommend people put it like in a Sprite or a ginger ale or something like that to kind of enhance the taste. Okay. It has a little bit of a hemp taste at the end of it, an afterbite. Some people love it just like that. Others are like, it's a little too hempy for me. And so that's where we say, hey, go ahead and just put it in with another drink that you like, Sprite or whatever. But
a quick question though, honestly, so have you noticed, like, has it been more clientele, like more prospects like coming to you that are more first time people because of the ease of access with like edibles instead of smoking? You know what I mean? A lot of people rather eat edibles.
Absolutely, yeah. Those of us who've been smoking since we were like kids, in the hippie community or whatever, wind up just going like, hey man, this is great. I love cannabis. I love flower. But folks who are kind of new to the area or new to the community, they tend to go for like, oh, let me go for the gummies. My youngest daughter says it smells like burnt broccoli when I'm smoking outside, and my wife's a nurse, so she didn't want it in the house. So it is kind of one of those things where for new beginners, like having a drink, what they're used to psychologically, kind of like smokers, they're used to bringing their something up to their lips. Same thing with alcohol. They're used to bringing something up to their lips. So that's a great way to do that as far as the Lifted goes. But the gummies are like almost like they're posh or new age or whatever, where people are like, hey, I really want to try this, but I don't want to have the stigmatism of like smoking cannabis. And you're like, okay, I get it, and so this is a great segue into the cannabis world for first-time users. So it's a really cool effect. Yeah.
And how would you say for people wanting to know more about cannabis law and stuff, like in there, like what would you recommend them?
If they go to our website queensgreenvb.com, there's a whole thing on the latest laws and all that kind of good stuff. We really try to educate our clients when they come in our store. One, we want to make sure that we are keeping them safe, especially like our active duty guys or guys who are still like doing government contractor jobs. I get a lot of veterans who come in, and I get a lot of little old ladies who come in who are like, hey, I want something. I don't want to, I don't want my family to think I'm a weirdo. And it's like, no, you're not a weirdo because you enjoy cannabis. And more people, once they get kind of educated on what the benefits are, anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory properties, anti-insomnia, like all the different benefits, they really start to go, wait a minute, it does all this, My daughter had Tourette's. and she was having motor tics, like hitting herself on the head, or she would, go crab time, whatever. And, luckily she's got a good sense of humor, and she's 18 at the time. She's like, oh, great, I guess I'm a freaking crab now, and we'd all have a good laugh, So she took it in stride, but it wasn't until we started giving her cannabis that her symptoms were gone within 3 to 5 minutes. And since then, she now only does cannabis maybe once or twice a week as needed. But she's like, there for a while, it was like she had to do it 2 or 3 times a day. Now she's like, very little consumption, and because she works during the week and she doesn't want to be like Monk the next day. So there's a lot of different things that it's helping, and a lot of people are starting to realize, man, this is a really beautiful plant. It's a hell of a lot better than the shit that we know that we're getting from the pharmaceutical companies that, we see these ads all the time on television that are like, hey, here's this amazing drug. Oh, by the way, it could cause bleeding from your eyeballs, bleeding from your butt, and death, like, what? Thousands and thousands, millions of dollars go out every year to families who have lost a loved one or whatever. But the pharmaceutical companies don't care because they're bringing in billions of dollars. So for them, death in their trial runs is sometimes just a part of business as usual for pharmaceutical world. Cannabis does not kill you. You can't get addicted to it. I'm going to give a brief later on about the effects of PTSD and how veterans are really starting to realize that, hey, this is where it's at. This and psilocybin has really taken a big turn within the DoD community. The Department of Defense is actually looking at some of this stuff as well. Yeah, so I'm not speaking for DoD right now myself, but there's a lot of great studies out there on the web that can talk about how Department of Defense is doing a lot of good stuff to help the guys who have suffered. I did 9 combat deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan for myself. I've seen some shit that you have these nightmares, these tremors, stuff like that. That now with cannabis, they're just not happening anymore, which is a beautiful thing, man. Because nobody wants to have that negativity in your heart and your soul. So that's really
Nick,
cool.
man. I just want to thank you again, man, for your service.
Absolutely.
You're
Yeah,
awesome,
great
man.
seeing you,
Seriously,
man.
always a pleasure, man.
Definitely.
I would love to get you on a one-on-one podcast, though.
Yeah,
You're
for
awesome.
sure.
No, but before I go, though, how can people support you and your business, the whole nine?
Yeah, definitely. Stop on by our shop on Virginia Beach Boulevard, 2694 Virginia Beach Boulevard, right across from Beach Ford, or RK Chevrolet at Lynn Haven and Virginia Beach Boulevard, or go to queensgreenvb.com or freedomhemps with a Z at the end.com and find out more about these amazing products. So, hey, great seeing you, brother.
Yeah, great seeing you, Nick, man. I'll see you around, all right? Thank you. Oh, dang. Yeah. No, that was awesome.
Advocacy group of people who love cannabis and want to support small business in cannabis. We really want to see these brands promoted and see legislation that's going to help small business in cannabis, Virginian businesses for, we're not trying to say no to multi-state operators or pharmaceutical companies. We understand that they're going to be entering the market. We just feel like we should have a fair share as citizens to enter the market and regulations that reflect those incentives. So without further ado, have Sarah come up. She's actually perfectly right in the middle.
Yeah.
She is with Rock Green Products.
You're sorry, like saying wave high, if anything.
Our safety as consumers and what we should do while we're transporting our medicine.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Let's get it. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. As she mentioned, my name is Sarah Kaya Morton. I'm the CEO of Lottering Stash Boxes. Our stash boxes are smell-proof and have a built-in combination lock on them to give you peace of mind as you store and travel with your cannabis. So I'm going to connect our stash boxes to the laws that you're getting ready to review, right? Are you getting ready to review that? Later? No, not me right now, but I'm going to connect it to how it all connected, and I'm going to start with a quick story. So, my husband got a weed charge in college. Both of us went to UVA. And I saw how it affected him throughout life, right? So whenever there was a job change or whenever there was a traffic stop, and we have horror stories of traffic stops with cannabis. I'm sure there are other people in here that probably have them as well, horror stories. So he experienced that. So I saw firsthand how having a cannabis law violation can impact someone's life and their families, right? So he ended up jumping in the cannabis industry 13 years ago. He went to Denver. He worked there for several years. We lived in Maryland for a few years. He's worked in here. He now has a consultancy for commercial equipment operators across the country. All the while, I got involved in advocacy in Virginia in 2018, trying to push these laws forward and paying very close attention to the laws. What happened in 2021? We became the first state in the South to legalize adult use cannabis, right? So everybody was happy. We all in this room were happy, I'm sure. But the devil's in the details, right? We're looking at the laws, and the open container law popped out to us. Who in this room knows how you're supposed to travel with cannabis in your car? Open container. Where does it need to be? In your trunk. In your trunk. Or behind the last upright seat of your vehicle, right? So if you're charging your vape pen and it's in your center console, or you have your rolling tray and it's in your back seat and it has some stuff on it, all of those can get you in trouble at a traffic stop. Why? Because the cannabis is within reach, within your passenger area. Anything behind the last upright seat of your vehicle or your trunk is outside of your passenger area, that is safe. So that's very important. We knew that educating about that was very important. But here's the confusing part. The law says that anything other than an originally sealed manufacturer's container is an open container. So that means if you have a jar, like any little jar that we have, or anything that you have, it's an open container because it's not sealed, and it's not its originally sealed container. That doesn't exist for most of us recreational folks.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I like microphones.
So, what is important about that is that originally sealed manufacturer's containers doesn't exist if you're just a grower, or if I'm just bringing what I have and sharing it. We can share it, we can carry it. There's no originally sealed manufacturer's container for us. So what can you do in that instance to best protect yourself? The best thing to do is if you're traveling in your car, lock it up and put it in your trunk. I say this all the time. Why? Because it's outside of your passenger area, and also because the best type of sealed container is locked. So that is why my husband and I started Lock Ring Stash Boxes in 2021 and launched it right on July 1st when the law changed. Our mission was to prevent cannabis law violations in two ways: by educating the community about the laws, which I do all the time. I'm sure some of you in here have seen me speak 1,000 times.
Thank you.
I talk about it all the time, educating. But also the second way is by the use of our stash boxes. They're smell-proof, they're discreet. When you're traveling, you can easily go in your trunk. You can kick these things around. They're durable. But also, when you're storing it in your homes, keeping it away from kids, pets, roommates, anybody who you don't want to have access to your stuff, there is a lock on here, you guys, and you can keep them out. So our brand is all about safety, responsibility, and protection. So that is how this stash box relates to those laws that you guys are going to see on the screen in just a second. So if you are interested in getting a stash box, we have discounted pricing for this event. And our large stash boxes are $45 and our smalls are $35. So I encourage you to get them while they're at this price, because online they're $69 and $59. If you need them, if you get gifts, Christmas time is coming up. Also, our t-shirts are all $10. So we are all about the mission, all about supporting you guys. If you all have a business or a mission, come and share it with me. I love connecting folks, and I love hearing about what other people are doing in the cannabis industry, especially in Virginia. All right? Thank you.
Yeah! Woo!
I'm not talking into this thing. I can't handle my voice.
noise coming out of the speaker.
We can
So-
No, this is not gonna be big. Now we have Alex from Cannabis Consulting.
Yeah, let's go. Round of applause.
I'm not always a mic person either. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Way in the back? All right, cool. Hey, I'm Alex. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer of Cannabis Consulting, which is an LLC that's based out of Westminster, Canterbury on Chesapeake Bay. We do a little bit of everything, really trying to meet people where they're at in the cannabis space, especially if they're new. I got my doctorate of nursing practice, really focusing my dissertation on the science and the therapeutics of strains, terps, what we need for our different chronic conditions. And I initially went into my studies thinking that I was going to have to focus on changing the attitudes and perceptions of healthcare providers. But what I really quickly learned is healthcare providers are more about it than what you think. It's just they don't know what to do next and they're afraid. So started working on bridging that gap. And at Westminster Canterbury, we service over 1,200 people over the age of 65. And believe it or not, people over the age of 65 are more likely than any other age group, including us in this room, to be consuming cannabis the whole entire time, start it back up now that it's becoming more accessible, or want to try it for the first time. And so really bridging the science, I'm very active in the American Cannabis Nurses Association. Yes, that is a thing. And we're really working hard to have cannabis nursing recognized as a specialty and really helping people. We know that all use is therapeutic, right? Yes. But really, helping bridge that gap with all that we've learned since 1990 about the endocannabinoid system. There's more than THC, there's more than CBD. How can we bring all that together to get folks who, I didn't realize I was up there. Thank you. If you don't mind going to the next slide, or maybe it's the one after that, one more. Yeah, so just a little bit about older adults by the numbers, and I'm really here also to connect and talk with you all because, I want to be able to send my residents and these people that I'm helping out to folks that are doing awesome things like you are, instead of sending them to dispensaries and other things. So, just a little thing about adults by the numbers. So there are almost 1,000, if you add it all together, nursing homes, assisted livings, hospice organizations here in the state of Virginia. And older adults are more likely than anybody else to use it, but less than 50% actually let their healthcare provider know or ask questions. And when they do, they're kind of freeze and don't know how to respond, right? So that's where I come into play and help answer those questions. But the healthcare providers, again, are interested. So just in a couple of weeks, I'm speaking with the American Medical Directors Association, the largest body of physicians, PAs, NPs that service older adults here in the state of Virginia, trying to work on getting this into assisted livings and nursing centers. Because on average, my residents are taking more than 20 medications.
Wow.
And over the past couple of years, through helping them find their way, have been able to see a reduction. So now we're trying to get out and help people beyond Westminster Canterbury, and really just meeting people where they are, wherever we are. I've been a nurse for about 12 years now, and a large part of my career has been rooted in regulatory compliance. And nursing homes are the third most regulated industry behind nuclear power and airline, and we're federally funded. So my folks in my nursing center, we have to act like we don't see it, we don't touch it, we don't store it. So we're trying to bridge that gap and get those things figured out. Because assisted livings, by talking about the laws like Sarah did, assisted livings are supposed to be designated caregiver facilities, meaning that they should and can accept, help people administer it, things like that. So long story short, trying to show that if Westminster Canterbury can do it, so can the close to 1,000 other places here in the state. And also want to be here for you guys too and build those relationships. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yep. We're on all the socials, got a newsletter.
You might need to take pictures of that real quick for one of my slides. You guys hear me okay? Right.
Yeah, perfect.
I will also set this down.
No, I didn't know like somebody.
Yeah. Hearing your own voice come out of a speaker that just how do you all listen to me talk?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sarah. I'm just like, I can't hold it.
So my name is Nick Rocha. I'm the owner of the Queen's Green Apothecary and now the Freedom Hints Gummies. They're the new 25-to-1 ratio gummies. The state just recently had to move everything from a 10-to-1 CBD to THC ratio to now a 25-to-1 ratio as of July 1st. We thought that that was going to be a showstopper and that it would water it down, and it'd be like vitamin C, and you eat too much vitamin C, your urine is just yellow and your body doesn't know what to do with it. As it turns out, it makes for a bigger high and lasts longer, so the joke's on Virginia legislators. But we're happy to have that going on. So I also represent the Veterans Cannabis Hemp Coalition, as you can see, and one of the things, next slide, a lot of times I have to educate people on the difference between hemp and marijuana, and that one has no psychoactive properties and the other one has all the psychoactive properties. So anybody in the room doesn't know, CBD is mostly working within the CB1 receptors in the body to do the healing, whereas THC is working the CB2 receptors in the brain to send signals up there to go, hey, quit sending pain signals down the body. CBD's working down here, THC's working in the mind. In simplest terms, that's the way it kind of works. Next slide. The Egyptians have been doing it. It goes back so many thousands of, there's so many different, ancient organizations and cultures who've used cannabis for millions of years, doing amazing stuff with it. I thought this was a really cool picture, but there's a lot of stuff that this does. Many of you guys already know. Is anybody not a huge fan of cannabis? I hate to go over these slides if you already know this stuff, so good. Let's do the next one. All right, states, so as of the 2018 Farm Bill Act, all 50 states are allowed to have CBD. 38 states have a medical THC program, and 23 states currently have a recreational and a medical program. And then there's just a few that have it decriminalized, and then there's 6 states that are only for CBD. So next slide. Okay, some of that's kind of lost in there. So veterans, identifying the problem. So you get lost in the fog of war. I was in the SEAL teams. I did 9 combat deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. You see some shit, right? And unfortunately, the way our brains are made, whether you're in combat or you've had rape trauma or you've been in a car accident or any of the bullshit the world throws at you, that shit sticks in your brain. And you need some way to get rid of those visual images and the memories of the shit that happened. And it's really hard to do that through alcohol, through any of the opioids, through any of the shit that the pharmaceutical world is trying to give us. We get a lot of folks that come into my shop who are like, hey, I'm trying to get away from the opioids. I've been addicted to alcohol, or I've been addicted to this, that, and the other. What can you give me? And so I used to not think that cannabis was a gateway drug, but it is. But not up to some weird bullshit, but it's down from whatever it was they were doing, down to something that's a lot more natural, that's better for their bodies, better for their minds. Next slide. Yeah, so in this last legislative body, the state did away, some of the stuff just got chopped off. The state did away with THC recreational stuff. Like you can still own it and possess it as a citizen, but there's not a recreational dispensary licensing. So they did away with Delta 8, Delta 10. In states like Colorado and California, when they moved to full-blown recreational dispensary licensing, they then did away with anything that was not the full-blown stuff, because you could just get the full-blown stuff. For whatever reason, Virginia's decided to go strictly with a medical program, and in a sense, it's like creating this entrapment. All in the name of safety, because one child may have, and they didn't even prove it in the toxicology report, died because of an overdose of cannabis. Those of us who love cannabis know that cannabis doesn't kill you. That's probably not what happened. It was probably fentanyl or some other crap that was laced and probably gotten from the legacy market or whatever you want to call it these days. So I did some research.
Purchased online from an out-of-state source,
Beautiful
and
state.
it was Delta 8. It wasn't even real THC.
Receipts, I love it. So the reality is that they changed the law because they said one kid may have had an adverse effect. What the real deal is there's 39,000 kids that died last year, according to the CDC website, from underage drinking. So if this was truly about safety, then we'd be focusing on alcohol, but it's really about Big Pharma realizing that they're trying to sell you a million different products for lots of different things, and oh, by the way, you're going to need 2 or 3 other pharmaceutical drugs, and now they realize that cannabis is cutting into their bottom line. So we recognize that. I think we all do in the room, and All right, so cannabis PTSD research. So some of this stuff I built on the train coming down here this afternoon from DC. Cambridge University did a report with 77 PTSD patients and found they were looking for 3 things. 1, the number of awakenings throughout the night. 2, early awakenings. And 3, nightmares over a 2-week period of time. Most of the patients who went through this study found that, as you can imagine, cannabis significantly helped them get to sleep faster. It helped reduce the number of awakenings in the night, and it also made sure that they didn't wake up earlier than needed to. They could still get a full night's sleep, and the nightmares were gone. So that's a beautiful thing. Next slide. More stuff on veterans. About 15% of veterans who were treated at a Veterans Affairs clinic reported, and that's the key word because there's a shit ton of veterans, about 83% of veterans are in favor of changing it over to making it full legal access across the state. I feel like that most veterans want to use that platform because they realize that, hey, listen, if you'll allow veterans to do it, then you're probably then going to allow the normal folks who may not have had a chance to serve for whatever reason, but are still great Americans doing great shit in their industry. And if we can use our platform to help other folks, then that'll be a good thing for all of us, and we're willing to jump on that grenade, figuratively speaking. All right, no, there's about 83% of veterans. Okay, good deal. 2021 MAP study revealed the improvement of among 150 PTSD patients receiving cannabis doses of higher levels of THC and CBD. VFW and multiple other veterans organizations have all supported the legalization of cannabis across all 50 states, so that's a good thing. There's a lot of folks that are actively out there looking for it and helping us out. Yeah, so we need you. Help us out, legalize cannabis. Get out there and vote. You know, if a butterfly in Africa can cause a hurricane here, then you getting out, in November and going and voting, and or coming up to Richmond with us, who've gone up there multiple times and speaking up for cannabis. It makes a difference. Your voice does matter, and the more that we ring that banging gong, then we'll be able to have access to our bong. And I'll let you that.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, you guys, we do have some chairs if you want a chair to sit in.
We're gonna wrap up here for a minute, but in a minute, I just kind of now that Nick's gone, I wanted to reiterate that we have to be involved in politics. And I know, like, the things that nobody talks about is politics, religion, and money, right? Why is that? It's because they don't want you to be involved. They want to. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be conspiracy theorist on this, because
It's no longer theory.
But it really feels like it's kind of funny how, we have so many shows, we have so many distractions. The news should be pushing every single one of you to know your delegates, to know your senators. The news should be pushing every single one of you to know what laws are going through the General Assembly. It's not just cannabis laws. With every bill that goes through the General Assembly that passes, a little bit of our freedom is stripped away from us, and we don't even know. And I'm going to be that person who constantly is like, who's my legislator? So I have these little worksheets. It's really silly. But it has all of the links that you would need to find your district map, your delegate, your senator. VCAP is a really great way to kind of follow the campaign right now and who in your district is gaining on the political force. It shows the campaign donations. It shows everything. We also have the lis.virginia.gov. So any cannabis bill that has been put through ever, you just type in keywords, you can read through those cannabis bills. And you can kind of see how expansive they are and work on amendments for yourself. Like, for instance, we kind of have been talking about what we would like to see in terms of, sorry, there's a lot of slides. This isn't the, is that the new one? No, well, so we have kind of worked on like possibly toying with pulling HB 1750, which was the retail cannabis bill that died in the General Assembly and kind of working on what we would like to see as small businesses in that legislation. So if we don't speak up, if we don't show them that we're here, if we don't continue to have more things like this where we have actual tangible people in cannabis, growers, geneticists, you know, whether it's rental, whether it's bakers, all the things, to show them like we're here and we're capable. We need a framework that works for not only multi-state operators, but also small mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we should be taxed the same amount as a huge multi-state operator, and I don't feel like we should have to pay the licensing premiums that multi-state operators do. So let's think about this kind of like reasonably. If I'm a small business in cannabis, I'm a mom and pop shop, I'm going to be renting existing infrastructure. I'm going to be renting existing warehouses. I'm not going to come in, plow 40 acres of forest land down. I'm not going to come in with 40 acres of water runoff, sewage waste. I'm not tapping into the electrical grid. I'm not causing a huge footprint in terms of my operation. I'm a small business. So I've been kind of playing with this since the last General Assembly, and I kind of read through HB 1750 and have jotted down some amendments. I really like this tax structure. It's probably going to get a lot of heat because it definitely favors smaller businesses versus obviously license level 4 would be a multi-state operator. So these are all very, you know, conservative or liberal figures. All of this can be changed, but this is just a general framework that I thought would be relatively fair. So license level 1, you've got kind of that platform for smaller businesses, smaller growers, the people that have been here all along through Prohibition, helping our people. There wouldn't be a legacy market if there wasn't a community in need. We have stepped in where our community where our community has needed us because our government has failed our veterans. Our government has failed our people. We should be able to have holistic remedies just as much as we're able to have pharmaceuticals. So I believe that licensing levels like this, where we allow the legacy market to have a seat at the table. I've been in cannabis for 20 years. I did this in California. I was a bud tender. I got steamrolled there and was terrified of cannabis. And I came back here, I moved here, and I didn't expect to get back into this. Lo and behold, here I am. I don't want to get steamrolled again. So what can we do? Problem, solution. Let's find a solution. So my solution is I created my own little meeting. So this is, you can take pictures. Again, it's just a very liberal thought process I put together, thinking about what goes into a huge operation, a huge grow operation, how a multi-state operator is going to take way more of our resources than a mom and pop, and then we even have mid-level. I think a 7% sales tax for smaller businesses on cannabis products is fair. I think 9 to 12 to 16 for multi-state operators. They're going to be using more of our resources. They're going to be using more land, using more of our water or sewage runoff, so they should pay more. Sorry, and it also kind of helps the equity portion of it that I think a lot of our states are having issues with. So people that are smaller businesses will have a lower tax rate, a lower licensing rate, because, you know, we want that social equity. We want to give people a chance to get their foot in the door. We had been talking at our last little powwow about possible regulation of the retail market and things that we think would be pretty fair and reasonable. So cannabis compliance testing. So anything from something as simple as being a bud tender and doing a general best business practice course for that, and anything as far as being a processor for concentrates. So we would probably want to put together some sort of like course program where people who want both small business and large major corporation would have to pass compliance testing. So we know when a customer walks into any cannabis or CBD store, they know dosing, they know general strain information. They're able to provide, they're providers. We have something similar. Right now there's a pharmaceutical program for specifically like dispensaries. We can build off of that program and ensure that everybody is in compliance from a small mom and pop to a large major corporation. I would do, again, different categories. Processing of concentrates, obviously that's a pretty serious big deal because a gram of a concentrate is 85% THC per gram. A gram of weed is only about 22% THC per gram. So those are things that we want regulated, that we want to make sure are safe for the consumer. Criminal priors is always a touchy subject for everyone. Understandably so. We are in the kind of belief that if you just have a cannabis prior and it is just cannabis, we should work on expunging those records, and they should be allowed to enter the legal market. We can expand to other priors based on good behavior, and essentially we can work with other existing rehabilitation programs and ensure that that person with priors goes through the necessary steps to ensure that they are compliant in all of the things that we've listed above and in best business practices for cannabis is kind of what I like to say, but just best business practices in general. So that's kind of like what I've put together and thought about as I've started learning about politics. It's only been a year, so this is obviously something that we can build and grow off of. I have these worksheets, and I hope that you'll take them home and study like I have. And yeah, does anybody, we can do like an open forum. Does anybody have any questions?
Sarah, can I say something?
Yeah.
How's it going, you guys? I'm Richard Stiles. I'm with Pro VA. Appreciate you guys coming. As I look at everybody, there's not too many customers. We're all vendors. We're all entrepreneurs of cannabis products and supplies and different things. So we're really all in this together. And we have had a couple meetings, but this is the most we've ever had, as many eyes as we've ever had really looking at us. But again, we're all in this together, all right? So what I wanted to say was, by joining us, we're really looking for great ideas. With the bill that Sarah was talking about and finding your legislator, we're able to build off of that bill. Just like we learned with you last time and you guys, these bills that have failed, we still can add our pieces in what we ultimately want out of the cannabis industry, all right? Like, we all want our different categories of it, all right? But if we work together and we come together, even though some of us are competitors and all that, it's great to come together. When we do that, we're able to then redraft these bills so that we're all going to be inclusive, So with using the worksheet, again, it helps to figure out who you're going to elect, who you're not going to elect, who's for it, who's not for it. Again, we all know about cannabis. We're all vendors and we all, have been in the industry, but we need to start working together and collaborating just like we're doing now, just like what the cannabis business is all about, smoking some weed, hanging out, being inclusive. But the only way to make a huge impact, especially coming up this year in November and the next year, is to really work together as a community, and we're all dreamers here. All of us are standing behind tables with a dream to be impactful. But what we need to do is, again, I know we're standing back here, but we're really here looking for bright ideas too to help bring to the table so that we all can have a piece of the
Real quick, I guess one thing that I'm going to say. I'm Lana. I'm with the cannabis community of Virginia. I'm just an advocate. I smoke weed. It's cool. Everybody does that here. Everybody knows about cannabis. But yeah, great points that Richard made was that we decided to make this a free event. We wanted vendors and marketers to be able to have that entrepreneurial freedom to talk about safety and education, to talk about advocacy, to talk about pain management, to talk about how we can reach out to other niche groups. Last time Zach and Karen Greenhall were here, they went over about how long the bill HB 1750 is. Does anybody know? Sarah, don't answer. Does anybody know how long this bill is? Just a guesstimate. It's 600 pages. Guess what? We're asking you all to participate in a group project because we can't work together. We have to work together to make this framework and create it to be something that we can all access it, where you can 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 find opportunities, where you don't have to be steamrolled and pushed out of Virginia because you have great ideas. Home fresh rent's a great idea. We see you coming up. We see you advocating for that accessibility for growers. We see alternative medicines for those who are handling pain management. We're looking for those that are going to advocate, communicate, and educate the goals of this entire community. It has been very difficult in the past for people to see eye to eye with one another. And it's time to level out. It's time to make changes as we approach a very, very important year, a very important election, and how much more we can make basically a local impact here in this community. So just the fact of being able to get vendors and give you all a chance to be able to say, here's what I'm about, this is what I can do, this is how I can contribute. Continue to show up and show support for this advocacy group, because we see somebody popping up, but for some reason, not all of them are working together. So this is a call to action to say, hey, if you know somebody who's willing to work with us, let's all do it together. I don't care for any personal things. We all just love the same things. Damn green. So whether that's money or whether that's weed, but regardless, that's what we're all here for. So we want to make sure that everyone is able to have that chance to participate. This is an open table. If you are hungry, come with your silverware, come with your plate, and get ready.
My favorite saying is, if they won't give me a seat at their table, I'll build my own. And that's kind of what we're doing, is we're building our own. So,
and not only that, but with the age we're in, by being able to reach as many people as we can with our Instagram sites, with our Facebook sites, we can really grab a huge majority of people that are going to be voters. You know what I'm saying? So again, if we collaborate and work together to find, worth in numbers, you know what I'm saying, then we really could, make an impact on politicians that will help us accomplish our dream.
Get to know your politicians.
But again, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to make a statement? Does anybody want to, say their point? Anybody want to
talk about your product? Talk about your campaign.
How do we do in June?
As
far as the primaries.
To be honest, I was really confused by the primaries because I thought that but anyway, long story short, there was redistricting. So some of the districts were in the primaries and some of the districts were not. My district was not, but it was, I don't know, it was very confusing.
Well, all of the people that got elected, you know.
We don't know how they stand. We do have Zach from Karen Greenhall's office. He might be able to talk more on that. And then we also, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Nick. He is running for a delegate seat. Nice. So we can hand it over to you too if you guys,
Hey, Nick, we got a microphone. All right, so my name is Nicholas Olenek. I'm running to be delegate of the 96th district. I come here because y'all have great ideas. Y'all teach me a lot. Still going. I've been a user my entire adult life, I should say. But y'all have y'all's own specialties and niches, and it's kind of amazing. I've learned all the available resources and just random products. I want to be an advocate. I want to support y'all. I want to mold these laws better than I can just do, and better than people that just don't know what they're doing. The law sucks. People obviously that have never transported a bag of weed wrote most of these laws. So we need some friends, some allies, and just some new ideas. So I'm also running as an independent, no big party backing me up, and doing it out of my own pocket.
not the encyclopedia of who voted on what in what district. That is where we need you to. We need you to go take this worksheet, research all of your delegates, all of your senators, and you come to me with what your delegates and senators in your district. So there are 100 delegate districts essentially throughout Virginia. I only have one delegate district